Okay, so I'm currently short. Let me get my chat popped out. I've been in this short for a while now. I've been in this short for a while. Just after open I entered, I think. Yeah, 9:33 I entered this short based off of previous day value area low and overnight value area low. Kind of just a stab on one of my accounts. Not really thinking about it too much. Just saw two overlapping levels and went for the short. Sat in drawdown quite a lot. Got close to getting stopped out. Now back into profit now. So we'll see how this goes. But yeah, this isn't the account I was going to be trading today. I just ended up. I didn't want to throw a trade straight off the open off stream on like the account that I wasn't focusing on for the day, but I knew that it was a valid enough trade to take, so I went ahead and loaded up a different account. Still a funded account. This is still a TopStep X funded account XFA trade. But it's on one of my. I have two accounts where I'm only taking one trade a day just because they're a bit lower on the balance, whereas my other ones I'll risk two trades a day. So yeah, I figured this was the right account to go for this sort of like trade off the open, one and done, win or lose type trade. But I thought I'd be out of it now, to be honest. I was like, oh yeah, I'll jump on this now. I probably won't still be in it by the time I start the stream. And I was a bit late to it as well. I had to mark it in because it popped up through it dead quick. So I actually entered at, like I would have entered at probably previous day's value area low. I actually ended up entering at like 1 point higher than that. So my entry is up here. And then I did a 1.5 of the average true range, the ATR. So yeah, literally got what? Is that a tick away from? It got a tick away from stopping me, I'm pretty sure. 2 ticks. Yeah, 2 ticks from stopping me. But we'll see if it wants to play nice. I'm watching closely for the break even here. Still a fair ways off it. Still like 3 points away from break even. Let me delete that off the actual chart. Okay, that's getting close to break even now. Come on, give it to me. Let me put my current session profile on there. It's been one hell of a give and take sort of trade. Very jumpy. Very jumpy trade straight off the open. I don't really like, even in my ICT trading, I never really was a fan of trading straight off the open. But yeah, I'm still not a fan of trading straight off the open, but I had to at least try it. See what it wanted to do. Are we getting the dump here? I'm literally just watching. I'm just waiting for it to get to this yellow. Let me make it a bit bolder. This yellow line here. Let's change the color of it actually as well, because yellow just doesn't really jump off the chart a whole lot. Let's make it black. That black line there is what I need for my break even. Oh, it jumped all the way down and then popped straight back up. It's like the world's longest scalp. Just trying to get like seven and a half points either way for a stop or a TP. Yeah, what time did I enter this trade? I entered this trade at 9:32. So I've been in it for what? 20 minutes. That's a long ass trade for me with the volume profile. Okay, surely if we break this low, I get break even, right? Surely. It was 1 point away from getting a break even. Come on. This is exactly why I switched my break even. Okay, wait there. We got it. Almost. How far away was that? That was 2 ticks from break even now. Come on. Oh, was that break even? Let me check. Yeah, that was break even. There we go. Can't lose that trade now. 2 ticks in profit. See if I get stopped at break even 2 days in a row. Oh, that was a tick off. There we go, boys. Starting the day off with a dub. Starting the day off with a dub. Love to see it. Okay, so that account's done. Back to the account that was on yesterday that only got a break even. Very solid, very, very solid. I wonder if I will even get another trade. Oh yeah, we got value levels to work with here. Honestly, really wouldn't mind. Wait, let me just double check news today. Music's not playing. Give me a minute here. There we go. Let me double check news. I feel like we have 10 AM news. Yeah, we do. Okay, so hands off for the next few minutes here. I was fine taking that trade right off the open because it's long enough between the news. Like I'm most likely going to be out by then. But what a drop! Like 9 o'clock drop. Crazy. Did I like tick that? I can't remember what I got out at. I swapped it back to that other account. Was it not that account? It was this account. Oh no, I definitely didn't tick it. It was like 4 points lower. Professor Mac, good morning, sir. Thanks for the recommendation. Bought funding ticks account. I saw. Appreciate you using my code. And good luck with the. What account did you go for? I'm assuming Pro Plus, but like what sort of weekly reward cap? What sort of size account? Most people go for the 50Ks just because 50Ks tend to be the best of both worlds as far as price and how easy to pass and stuff like that. Don't know though. Some people just go balls in with the like 150Ks. I've always been a 50K sort of guy. $50K with $1,000 cap like you recommend. Oh, right, okay, yeah, nice. Yeah, I mean, that is the way to get the insane deal. Did you go, I'm assuming you went for end of day. I know that a lot of order flow sort of traders and like scalpier traders don't mind intraday. Personally, I just still can't. I still just don't see the reason. Like, I think if you went for the intraday account with funding ticks, which is like live, they call it, live trailing drawdown, you get like an extra $5 to $7 cheaper. For me, that is not worth it for like the difference between end of day and intraday. End of day is so much easier. Like, even if you're a scalper, I just don't see the point. Yeah, I don't like intraday either, Professor Mark. But like Cammy will say like, oh, it's not that bad if you just know how to maneuver it, and I get that, but also I just don't want to have to maneuver it. I just don't want to have to deal with it. I'll happily pay the few extra dollars, or like that's why I won't trade with firms like Take Profit Trader or definitely not Apex. Take Profit Trader is like the most on the fence because they obviously have really good payout rules from what I've seen. but they're just a little bit sneaky with it. How they have like one account that's end of day, one account that's intraday, or like phases of your account. Like it's something like in the eval, your end of day, and then like I think once you pass, it becomes intraday until you build a buffer, and then it goes to end of day. Yeah, it's weird. I would rather just not have to deal with that. And take profit traders pretty expensive actually, from what I've seen. They don't have an activation fee, but it's still pretty expensive. Unlike funding ticks, is so like just outrageous as far as price. Like it really is crazy. I saw that for the Cyber Monday deal or something. How much was your you had a $50K $1,000 cap end of day. So did that cost you $45? Or I think they did a bit better of a deal over Black Friday weekend, where you could have even got it for like just under 40. Obviously it's only like $5 difference, but still it's just even cooler of a deal. Definitely not worth it. Yeah, I agree, Robin. I agree. My dubs in the chat for that initial short off the open. I should have started streaming, to be honest, but I was just like, I genuinely thought it was just going to be like a quick stop out or take profit, and I got time to stream, and I was like, I'm still in this trade, and it's literally like sat in my entry, so I guess starting the stream with a trade rather than sitting around for half an hour. Something like $45, I can't remember. Yeah, will be $45 then. $45 in no activation fee. Because that's what it was when I checked. Waiting to Lucid, waiting to get your affiliate code. Oh, you don't have to wait. I do appreciate it, but you don't have to wait. Yeah, Lucid Flex, the account that they did. I when I went to talk about them in that video, they were literally had maintenance on their website because they were releasing a new account called Lucid Flex, which obviously I wasn't even aware of until after I uploaded that video. I went back and looked into it. Wow, Lucid Flex is. I need to look into it a bit more because I don't really understand it, because they have their Lucid Pro, something like that, Lucid something account, which is like your normal eval account. And then they've now released Lucid Flex. Lucid Flex is for some reason cheaper than the other one. I think they're called Lucid Pro. But Lucid Flex is a better account from what I can tell. So yeah, I'm not sure why it's cheaper, but maybe it's something to do with like the payouts or something like that. I don't know, I'm not sure. But yeah, Lucid. I don't know if like, from the sounds of it, Professor Mac, I'm not sure if Lucid would, like, obviously if you want to try them, then by all means, but from what I can tell at least, like I was using Lucid solely because I was trying out a new system, a new strategy, and it was really good for that. They're still a good firm, but they're more suited to people that are slower at passing accounts and stuff like that. And if you're someone who's passing accounts within a month, then funding ticks is where you want to go, because ultimately it's cheaper for you. If you pass it within a month, and like you don't pay the activation fee, it's cheaper for you than paying for like a Lucid account, which I think will run you like an extra $10-15 compared to funding ticks. That's if you do the $1,000 weekly reward cap, though, to be fair. So pros and cons, obviously, but like as a simple rule of thumb, that's what I tell people. Funding ticks are your go-tos if you're someone who's passing accounts within a month, and Lucid is your go-to if you're not. I do $200 a day until I pass slow and steady. Oh, right, okay, yeah. Depending on how often you get trade signals, though, and then really depends. Also, as well, the good thing about funding ticks, obviously, and well, this goes for every firm, is that if you are paying a monthly fee, this is the to be fair, this is the only downside to a one-time fee like that Lucid has compared to a monthly fee, like funding ticks or like most prop firms. If you fail an account that has a monthly fee, basically all of them, I'm not aware of any firm that it doesn't do this, if it has a monthly fee, your account will get reset if you fail. So like, let's say you buy that Funding Ticks account and you fail it in the first month. If you just, like, let's say you trade it for like 3.5 weeks and then you fail it, if you just wait like another week for it to rebill, you'll get the 50k account like completely reset. So you don't have to pay like the reset fee, which is normally more. Obviously with Lucid, that's different. If you fail it, like it's gone. Unless you pay to reset it, which you're basically just paying for another account. I'm not sure how much the reset fees are with Lucid, but yeah, that's the only downside to a one-time fee compared to a monthly fee. Obviously that means you're going to be paying more, obviously, because you're trading more than 1 month. You've got to pay the bill twice. But yeah, it's more cost effective to do that still. Like, buy one monthly rebill account like Funding Ticks, fail it in that first month, and then get your rebill, get your free reset, and then pass it again the next month, or pass it the next month. That would work out cheaper, because then with say let's use $45 as an example, then you're $90 all in, and you have the account that's passed. Whereas with like a one-time fee, it's going to cost you more than $90. I would think it would probably cost like somewhere in the range of $110 to $120 with Lucid, if I had to guess. Maybe cheaper, depends what sort of deals they do. I just realised, is the music loud or is it okay? I know I turned it down before I started the stream, it should be fine. We've come back up into value now, so we didn't hold lower, but we held low enough for me to get my dub. I also have been doing today, a little bit, and last night I've been doing a lot of research into why the volume profile is the way it is, like based on like how it's actually calculated. Because I was looking at, like I think we were talking the other day, Professor Mac. I'm not sure if it was you or if it was someone else. We were talking about TradingView versus like a more professional order flowy platform like MotiveWave or something like that. And I was looking into strictly for the volume profile if it would benefit swapping from a platform like TradingView to a platform like MotiveWave or Bookmap, whatever you want to say, for volume profile. And then, yeah, I was looking into like how TradingView calculates its volume profile, like really deep diving into it, compared to how those other professional platforms calculate it. And turns out that TradingView is actually fine if you're just using the volume profile. If you're going into things like Delta and stuff like that, then it's definitely worth the professional platform. But for strictly just the volume profile, and I should stress this for futures as well, obviously, but if you're watching these streams, then you're probably a futures trader. The volume profile levels are pretty much identical to the levels that you get on a platform. Even though TradingView calculates its volume profile based on something called tick data or tick volume, which I knew the phrase, but I never really understood what it meant. So I've clued up on that now. Compared to a professional platform calculates its volume profile via contract volume. So the volume profile, I can explain it if you guys want. I was going to do a video talking about all this sort of stuff, like why volume profile works. I was going to record that video tomorrow. That was going to be like this week's video. I was going to do like a weekly vid, and then maybe next week I'll do a video on Lucid. Yeah, exactly, Professor Mac. Definitely better than spending the money, yeah. Makes sense, maybe I'll hold off on Lucid. I just want to try a few props beyond my TopStep X phase. Yeah, that's fair. That's exactly what I did. But yeah, if you're just using volume profile. I'll try and give a quick explanation of of how the volume profile is calculated. Basically, tick volume means that every time price ticks between two price points, so let's say price goes from 6,000 to 6,000 and 6,000.25, 6,001 tick, then the volume profile bar, because these have this volume profile is made up of loads of little bars, and a bar goes from, like, each of these is the size of a tick. So if price were to tick up from 827.25 to 827.5, then the volume profile for TradingView would class that as plus one tick. And then it basically, for the entire range that volume profile covers, it's going to look at how many times price ticked between each zone, each different level, and use that to build the profile. And turns out that tick volume, for futures at least, tick volume, counting how many times price moved basically from tick to tick, is very, very closely correlated to actual contract volume, which is how professional platforms will calculate the volume profile. So a professional platform is going to look at each individual price and see, because they have access to the data obviously, and they have their volume profiles calculated, so they calculate it that way, which is the right way. Professional platforms like that are going to look at, say, 6,800, and they're going to be able to see exactly how many contracts were traded at that price level. Whereas the tick volume has to include a move from one price to another price. And say we move up like a full point, so say we move up 4 ticks, but during that 1 point move, we go up a tick, down a tick, up a tick, down a tick, up a tick, down a tick. Every time that moves, ticks are building up, so tick volume is increasing more and more and more. So you might get tick volume increasing by 8 or 9 ticks, but price on the chart looks like it's only moved a point, because as it's gone up and down, it's ticked up, ticked down, ticked up, ticked down, tick up, down, 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 up, down. So it builds tick volume that way. And yeah, so that way of doing it is almost identical. It's identical, like within a tick, to looking at contract volume. Hope that makes sense. I don't know how well I explained that, and if you guys even care, but Professor Mack, I understand. Okay, good. Thank God. Because I had to really look into it and really try and understand it before it fully clicked for me. But yeah, that is completely how it works, and that's why on futures, I was going to take a drink, but I'll continue explaining. That's why in futures, volume profile is so much more reliable, because it's a centralized exchange. Obviously, you've probably heard this a million times if you're interested in volume. But when we're looking at a futures market, which is a centralized exchange, we have access to all the ticks that are moving, all the tick volume. We have every tick that has moved, we have access to that data. So we have all of the tick volume. Compared to like crypto or Forex, if you put a volume profile on that, way less reliable, because you're not looking at the bigger picture of the volume. I feel like that statement is a lot more commonly known. Whereas the other thing about like tick volume versus contract volume isn't. At least I didn't know that. And what was the other thing I looked into? We have a pretty even distribution here. I wouldn't mind fading the lows if we build up, push up a bit higher. Your setup, Professor Mac, the one that you're a fan of. If we can get this current session low to push up a little bit, so it's more around previous day value area low, overnight value area low. Then we have a D-shaped profile here. Very nice potential fade of this side of the profile. Not so much of a fan of the fade from the top. Would prefer to see a fade from the bottom. Definitely read that before. I didn't know about the difference between contract volume and tick volume though. Yeah, there we go then. Yeah, that's what I thought, because I feel like a lot of people have read about the whole centralized exchange, and that gets shouted about more in the space than the difference between contract volume and tick volume. Yeah, rotation. I'm not going to take it just yet. I want to really. It is there. I can. Let me. If I go from overnight value area low, I just want this current session value area low to push up a little bit, to be honest. But I could very easily go for like a little 5-5. I might even go like a couple ticks below. I'll go for that. I'll try this. 829. Oh god, am I gonna be fast enough to put my orders in here? Yeah, I am. Yeah, I like that rotation. I'll just, because now I'm entering kind of in the middle of all my confluences. What's the average true range? 4.5, okay. Let's try this little rotation play. Fading the bottom end of the profile. It's got both them value levels as well, the value area lows. Which this is a great trade, to be honest. It would just be so much. It would be even cleaner if this current session was like just a little bit higher, but it looks too good not to take, to be honest. Fucking POC shit. Okay, I'll just hold that, to be honest. I'm looking for opening range breakout retest of the 15-minute range, trying a one trade and done strategy. Okay, 15-minute range. So are you trying to go long? That would be your high, right? So would you have longed there? Because that's the high of the first 15 minutes, right? And then the low would have been the open down here, which I can't actually see where the candle ends look like there. Maybe. Are they your two points of entry? Like roughly 820 roughly, and 839, 840. Never really trade. I know the opening range breakout, obviously. I think like it's a very popular strat. I mean, it works. That's for damn sure. But I've never been like tempted by it really at all. It's weird. Weird, like people get drawn to different strategies. I've also got the delta as well, by the way, open on my other chart. But for this trade, I'm really not even considering delta. Go away. Actually, I probably should answer this. One sec, guys. Oh, did I get filled? No. I'll wait for a break and retest of the midpoint of the range. Give me a little more flexibility down to the bottom of the range. Okay. I don't know where my phone... Oh, I almost knocked that drink over then. That was almost a fucking bad day. Don't know why my phone was on not silent. My phone's always on silent. From my understanding of the Delta, we are actually very we have a lot of aggressive sellers in the market actually at the moment. So, but I'm not really giving that too much thought, obviously, because I'm not as experienced with the Delta as I am with the old VP. I also don't know how accurate TraderBait's Delta is. Yeah, it has all the order flow plus stuff, but yeah, I'm not sure. Unfortunately, like, damn. Not the point of chop. Damn point of chop. I've still not been filled on this. But yeah, that conversation I had before about the volume profile and like how it's calculated. The main reason for that is because I personally, like for me, if I'm trading something, I really want to understand it. Not that you have to, but it helps. I think it helps everyone, to be honest, but it definitely helps me have confidence. Like if I know exactly how something works, I know, like I can't doubt it. There's no questioning. Which is probably why I eventually moved away from ICT, because there was too many questions and not enough answers. Too much faith. Yeah, I was considering swapping over to a platform like MotiveWave or something, and I was weighing up like how worth it actually was. Turns out for me specifically, at this point in my trading, at this point in my trading, yeah, not really worth it at all, to be honest. May as well just stick with trading view until I get interested in adding in some if I ever get interested in adding in some more order flowy tools like the Delta. Okay, we're dumping here. Then it would be worth swapping to a platform like that, but for now, I'm like a professor. It's called autism, Professor Mac. It's called autism. Autistic obsession is what it's called. I shouldn't openly like start claiming that I'm autistic on stream, really, should I? Autistic tendencies, let's say that. Is OCD autism? I was just trying to think actually, because my uncle is OCD, which is OCD neurodivergence, yeah. Is OCD a form of autism? OCD a form of autism? Because I think it is, right? Because my uncle's massively OCD, so maybe I get it from him. Oh, it's not a form of autism, never mind. I thought it was. Yeah, I'm not OCD at all. Oh, it is connected. Connected to autism. God, the conversations we have on the KAICAP streams, eh? No, this is fucking contradicting itself left, right, and center. I click on one thing, it says yes. I click on the other, it says no. No one can agree. Co-occurs with autism? Okay, well I'm gonna say that it's similar. That would make more sense, at least why, because I do get a lot of things from my uncle, I think. I am kind of scared of this long, but the volume profile backs it, so I'm going to take it if it gets filled. The only thing that's making me slightly worried is the delta. The delta looks very bearish. Oh, that was another thing, actually. Coming down, I have a feeling it's going down to the bottom of the range, but I'd love for it to push up for a scalp. Yeah, it can definitely, that's the benefit of these little scalpy plays, is you're obviously, you don't have to be right on the entire direction of the day, you just have to be right on like a little 5-point move. So ultimately, if it does go down to the bottom of the range, I can still win if it just pops back up a little to point of control, which is perfectly acceptable for it to do. So yeah. But yeah, Delta is concerning me because it looks very like Delta we're below a lot of lows that price isn't, which I believe is a sign that sellers are very strong. Price just isn't willing to follow suit. My risk is limited to $200 a day, so I'll either make 400 or lose 200. Yeah, okay, nice. My risk is very weird at the minute. Let me just shut my door because my door's like wide open. Can't let the demons in. Yeah, my risk strategy is a bit unique in the sense that I'm, well, not unique. Makes me sound special. I'm not special. My risk is like $200 on a day. Obviously, my system is much different to yours, Professor Max, since I'm trading one-to-ones, not like you. You'll be trading with a bigger risk to reward from the sounds of it. But so I'll risk $200 a day per account, or at least for my accounts that are doing well. For the other ones, like the one that I was on at start of stream, that is just like $100 a day, one trade and done. Until I recover them a little bit, and then I'll up their risk to what the other ones are at. But yeah, my risk is $200 a day, but for 2 trades. So how I do that is I split that into 150 and 50. So first trade, if it wins, my risk stays at 150. So if I have 2 winners, that would be 150 plus 150 plus a potential runner. So best case scenario, you're looking into like the upper 300s, maybe even 400, maybe more like probably 350 to 375 for like a best case scenario day. We have absorption at the top of these highs here, which is on the bearish side, I believe. We have a delta divergence at them too high. The high that it's just put in at like 1020, and the high that it's kind of, well, where it is right now. Delta's above that high. So if price fails to break that high, I believe that's called absorption with delta. What was I saying? Yeah, so my best case, like best green days will be like in the upper 300s, maybe 400s, depends how well a runner does. But my worst day is like $200. Because if the first trade loses, then my second trade goes down to like $50 risk. Which I prefer doing that than $100 for the first trade, $100 for the second. Because it's basically like compounding my winning days, but still controlling my losing days. But it does put a lot of emphasis on the first trade. Like my first trade of the day is the most stressful one, really, because that kind of sets the tone for the day. If that first trade wins, then I'm basically guaranteed to at least break even on the day. If not, better. But if that first trade loses, then I'm guaranteed to be red on the day. It's just a question of how red. Excellent risk management. Yeah, I mean, I kind of worked with ChatGPT to come up with it, if I tell you the truth. I spend way too much time talking to AI. It's probably why I sound like I'm such a robot. I shouldn't say ChatGPT came up with it. I kind of like just throw ideas at chat, and then it kind of, like, I just kind of waffle, like I do what I'm doing now. I just literally put it on the speaker thing and I just kind of talk to it and pop off a few ideas, and then once it's heard all that, it helps me kind of summarize them and figure out like what was good about what you just said and what maybe would be worth changing. And do that for like 20-30 minutes and you end up having a pretty solid system. It's just obviously the only downsides with the AI thing is like when it's wrong, it's just not going to tell you because it doesn't know it's wrong. So you have to kind of not take everything it says at face value. You have to look into it. Like I tried to look into that whole volume profile stuff that I was on about earlier in the stream, like how it's calculated and stuff. And when I was asking AI, it was just, I just knew it was wrong because I'd read somewhere else, like on TradingView's website. I went and read like how the tool actually functions, how it calculates it, and what ChatGPT was telling me it does based off what the actual website for TradingView said it did were very different. So then I just like pasted the TradingView link into chat, and then it read that and was like, sorry, I was wrong. I was like, fucking told you. We really do be just consolidating around that previous day's point of control right now. Still happily leaving my limit order here. So, with the open and range breakout strat, my understanding is that it has a little over a 50% win rate. So I figured if I don't do a strict one, yeah, that makes sense. Makes complete sense. That's the benefit of my 1-to-1, is that obviously I have a higher win rate, so it makes up for the lower risk to reward. Like I said, in November, my win rate was like in the upper 60s. I think it was like 68.75%, so like just under 70%. But that was my win rate per trade. My win rate on like my day win percentage was like in the upper 70s. It was like 78%. That I win on the day, which I don't actually understand because I normally do one trade and like done for the day, so I don't really know how my day win percentage was so much higher. But where's that current session? Okay, exactly what I wanted to happen before has kind of happened here, to the point where I actually can raise my entry up just a slight bit. I'm gonna go in it. Yeah, I'm going to go in at the oval, so at 8:30. And that gets me out right at point of control. Don't really want to push my entry too high because I don't really want to target beyond the point of control. Basic rule of thumb for these rotational plays. No, scaling into trades is something that I always have thought about, but never really understood fully the best way to do it. Exactly where your bottom is. Yeah, scaling into trades, I would be interested. Let's put it that way. I would be interested into scaling, but I also think that right now, I think scaling is better suited to like the big accounts, like 150k account, scaling into a position and like scaling into winners, obviously. Whereas for these 50k, the small 50ks, especially when they're like at the start or even negative, like one just taking full TP and not scaling in. But like Chris Knox, who I've done a few videos on the channel with, you probably know him from in the Discord, Professor Mac, but Chris racked up like $100,000 with Tradeify, and his strategy was, I believe, he scaled into positions to like get his winners really high. Yeah, they do converge a lot. Yeah, makes sense though. But that was another thing that Tom Huggard says in Best Loser Wins, I believe, is like the best traders add to their winners, the worst traders add to their losers. Which sounds like obvious, but he means that like the best traders will have an open position that is in profit and they'll be adding to it. Whereas bad traders will be in the negative on a position and adding to it in a negative. Yeah, I did a video. Oh, hello. What was that? What the fuck was that? I'm just gonna check news. Whenever there's a big spike like that, I always... Yeah, Nick Gavin, look at that fucking rip. Look at that rip. Whenever something like that happens, I always just open Forex Factory and just refresh the news section on there a couple times just to check that nothing crazy happened. Well, not crazy, obviously that wouldn't have been a crazy spike, but just anything in general, because that'll then make me get out of my position. Not get out, but not be getting in for like a few minutes while it calms down. Right up to the POC. Which POC? What POC are you talking about? I don't know if mine are different to yours because of like where I measure mine from and stuff. I may as well, I'm going to cancel them limit orders now before I forget that they're even there. That's not a bad long. With the fact that we've just exploded up, that would be a nice place to retest, but it's just the POC I don't like, obviously, and we know that. Whereas that one, if we got all the way up there and did something like this, I wouldn't mind an entry there, because even though it has the overnight point of control, if we have something in the current profile, we have previous days value area high, so I'm not too bothered about that. Also, I didn't even realise that. That was another inkling that longs were potentially gonna take control here this session, because look where the previous day's point of control was, which is the previous day, the like previous regular trading hour session's point of control from 9:30 to 4 p.m. and then the overnight point of control for the Globex session, which is 6 p.m. until 9:30. Overnight, fair value shifted up, which is a bullish sign. Obviously, it shifted back down in the current session, but this point of control can move, obviously, whereas these ones are static, they're set. But yeah, if we get something like that. What's Delta doing? Exploding, who could have guessed? Who could have guessed? Just finished my night shift, got to my PC, ready to trade with it. Hell yeah. Oh, you measure on the MES. What's your thoughts on doing that, Professor Mac? Because I know a few people that do that, but from my understanding, this is just simply like my thoughts on it. This doesn't mean I'm right, but I'll explain to you my understanding of it. Is we're trading based off volume. So for the most accurate levels, I would assume that you want to get your levels, your value levels, from the biggest volume index, which if you're trading the ES and you have the micro and the mini, the big volume, the more important volume is going to be on the mini compared to the micros. Therefore, the mini's value levels are more valid than the micro. So I am charting on the mini, but I'm trading on TopStep X on above me. That is the micro, which you can see in the background of it. So, and that's worked well for me, but I don't know if it's the valid way to do it. It's just what makes sense for me. But yeah, thoughts on that. It seems fairly logical, but also like people that chart on the MES and trade the MES, their argument is obviously I'm using the levels of the participants of the thing I'm trading. But to me, that argument doesn't really hold so much weight because the participants that are going to move what you're trading are in the ES. They are similar, yeah, they are similar, but sometimes they're not. That makes a lot of sense. I'll ask ChatGPT. The phrase I use daily. But yeah, Gavin, they are similar a lot of times, but I can tell you for a fact, some days they are quite significantly different. Old tick jump method was to measure off of the main contract, then recently changed to doing it through the micros. I thought, I don't know. That's why I'm saying I don't know. I know that Kami tells people to do that. Yeah, I think is to measure what they are trading. So like if you're trading MES, measure MES. But personally, my view, how I would think about it is what I just explained, that if I'm trading the ES. If I'm trading ES or MES, regardless, if I'm trading some form of the S&P, I want the volume-based levels from ES because that's where the majority of the volume is. Jeff, I do a similar thing, trade the MS. Yeah, there we go then. Yeah, Jeff does it how I do it. Trades the MES, but uses his levels from ES. Like I say, I'm not saying that I'm right and the other way is wrong. I'm just saying that's how I do it and that's my reasoning why. I don't really see the reasoning behind charting MES and trading MES. But if someone was to do that, I wouldn't really say like, oh, you should do it this way. I would simply say to them, why are you doing it that way? And if they have a logical reason why they're doing it, then I'll say, yeah, fair enough. Just found out recently with Lucid Prop Firm you can get motive. Oh, really? Oh, that's awesome. We did have a discussion before you got on here, Gavin, though, with regards to like motive wave and stuff like that. For volume profile, it turns out that it doesn't really matter if you're on TradingView or like a platform like Motive Wave, strictly for volume profile. But if you're wanting to include like the other order flowy stuff, like say with full order flow package, like Delta, all that stuff, footprints, then yeah, Motive Wave definitely the way to go for as far as reliability. So yeah, that's very, very interesting to know that Lucid just did that. That's awesome. I'm down for whatever makes my trades more accurate. Yeah, that's my view exactly. My view exactly, Professor Mac. Have you asked ChatGPT? What did ChatGPT say? Sometimes only a tick or two off. We enter off ledges anyway. Yeah, exactly. Realised my TopStep X chart is running away from me. that's a massive, massive dub for Lucid as far as winning over the order flow crowd. Especially when you factor in that Lucid is a one-time fee. You could just... I don't know if there's any rules with Lucid regarding like inactivity. I would assume there is. Because if there wasn't, then even still, you could just enter a trade every now and then, dead low risk, and keep the account. It's hard to switch from TradingView. They go, yeah. TradingView is just very, very solid as far as like navigation and stuff and tools. So from what I've seen, MotiveWave does look pretty like solid though. I'm on NinjaTrader for free though, Lucid right now. Oh right, yeah, cool. One trade every 20 days, alright, thanks. So one trade a month. Is that one trade? I'm assuming that means one trade per 20 like actual trading days. Or is it like 20 days include like every day, so including weekends? Because if it's one trade per 20 days, that basically means one trade a month. Because it's 20 trading days in a month. More or less. But yeah, you could, so I wonder if you could just pay for like a cheap Lucid account, get access to MotiveWave, and then just trade the account with really low risk and keep it. So then you have MotiveWave like as a free charting, well not free, but you know what I mean, like you pay a one-time fee for a Lucid account, that's way better. I think MotiveWave, if you buy a lifetime membership for MotiveWave, or lifetime access, whatever you call it, license, it's like just under $600, last I checked. Or you can like subscribe to it for like $50 a month, but then you also have to add like data fees into that as well. Oh, I'm assuming this is pasted in from chat. For your specific style, volume profile, plus developing session profile, plus confluence levels, plus footprint data, the answer is clear. Yes, ES volume is more accurate. There we go. Chat approved. ChatGPT approved. Delta's still very strong here. For bulls. So we've converted Professor Mac from charting on MES to ES. I'll be interested to know if you notice much of a difference. I think it was Gavin that said they're not different like much, and like yeah, he's right. But sometimes they are quite like I've seen people's streams that I've tuned into that are like charting MES and trading MES. And their value levels from the micro chart were like on some days, like not I'd maybe say like 1 in 10 days, 2 in 10 days, they're like significantly different to the point where it's like, right, which one do you use? But a lot of times, like Gavin said, they're pretty close anyway, so not too bad for a break and retest long. Not too bad for a break retest from here long. Yeah, I'm looking for a break and retest of these two overlapping value levels plus the node that's built underneath. Delta's also on our side. Delta's bullish. Yeah, I really do like it. You have this node here that's kind of built up. Or you could even use like this whole bit as a node. And then you obviously have the two value levels. Even though one of them's point of control, I don't mind it so much for this. But I will be entering at previous day's value area high, because that's the edge of this node. And then I am going to use... I'm going to use a 6-point stop here. Just so I'm just behind this like larger part of this node. I'm like under here. I like that. I just need to see us break confidently up here, and then more than happy to take this trade. 5 micros. Like I said, Delta's with us, so this is a very solid trade if it can break through here, in my opinion. Just my opinion, guys, not financial advice. Everyone take this trade. If we stall under here even more, honestly, that's kind of better as long as we eventually break. Because the more we stall underneath, the more the larger of a node we're gonna have to support us once we do break. I shorted from the previous day's high earlier today. There was a ton of sells up there. Nice. I don't know where previous day's high and previous day's lows are anymore. I don't track them anymore. I'm assuming it played out though. If you shorted, I'm assuming you shorted like somewhere up here, like pre-market. Where was previous day's high? That's Tuesday. Oh wait, yeah, it's there. You shorted from previous day's high? Or like around it, I think you mean. Maybe. Because that's previous day's high there, right? We haven't taken it yet. We just made we got very close to it. It is Wednesday, right? Yeah, it's Wednesday. I'm fucking tripping myself out then. Oh yeah, one thing, that was another thing I basically found out. This is the last, like, explanation for volume. Oh, my fucking chart's frozen. One sec. Always does this. Like, I think like every time, once per stream, it does this. Give me just a minute here. Stream might go funny for a second. All I have to do is literally like close the application that I'm using to extend my MacBook onto my monitors with, and then it fixes it. Yeah, see, fixed. Fucking so weird. What was I saying? Yeah, so Cami teaches in the school group that when you're measuring the volume profile, you want to do it on the 1 minute chart, and he just kind of says that because of how TradingView calculates the volume profile, that is how you need to do it. I never quite understood that. I mean, I did it, but I didn't understand why that was the case until like I did my whole looking into it. Oh, you're trading MNQ, okay, that makes sense. So yeah, when I looked into it, basically it's because when you're anchoring the volume profile, it's going to use the exact time that you anchor it. So if you're wanting to get exact times, like for the overnight session, we want to get from 6 until exactly 9:29 to get the most accurate levels. And obviously if you're on like any other chart, you're not going to be able to do that, like any other time frame. You're not going to be able to get levels that accurate. Or sometimes I think you can, like on the 5 minute, you can. But like if you go onto like the 15, you can see that like the levels start to differ, and that's why. Because it's basing it off of, like if I was to go on the hourly chart, for example, you would see that, this thing will look a little messy for a sec. You would see that the previous day levels I have, it's no longer going from 9:30. It's now factoring in, like it's starting at 9 o'clock, 9 a.m. So yeah, that's why the 1 minute chart is where you measure it, because you want to include, you don't want to include it. You want to get the exact price or the exact time, which you need to do on the 1 minute chart, obviously, because I always thought, like, it seemed like Cami was teaching that the lower the time frame you go on, the more accurate the levels. So I was always curious, like, what would happen if I was to do it on like the 30-second chart? Would I get more accurate levels? No, I wouldn't, because it would still be doing it with the exact same. it would still be doing the exact same time range as a 1 minute chart would be. And like also a 2 minute, no, even a 2 minute chart you wouldn't be able to, because you need that 929 for the overnight levels and the previous day levels. You need 359, sorry, for the previous day levels. So yeah, all of that stuff is gonna be in a video that I'm gonna record tomorrow. I've got a busy day tomorrow. Work, then the gym, then record a video, then trade. Oh god. I'll record the video in the evening. Get better lighting on my video then anyway. We are rejecting from previous days of area high. I'm not going to short here until I see delta. If delta shows me that it's potentially going bearish, then I might actually short if we break away. Basically, whichever way we break here. If we break lower, I'll get a retest for a short. If we break higher, I'll get a retest for a long. But so far, I'm leaning for the long until I see delta. If delta shows me like a break, if delta breaks this low before price does, then that's a nice added confluence in the short, because then that means that we have more aggressive sellers. But if we break this low and delta doesn't, see, I'm watching delta now as we approach it, then if price breaks it before delta, that's a weak sellers. You want delta to break first, from my understanding. If anyone knows delta well, then feel free to let me know if I'm correct in thinking on that, because that's so far from what I've looked into for delta. That's how you want to use it, or at least that's how I'm using it. Oh my god, my nose. I thought I wasn't gonna be able to talk today. I had a bit of like a sandpaper throat when I woke up this morning, or like you know when you just, something like when you swallow, it's just like ugh. So I was like, oh fuck, I'm not gonna be able to waffle on stream for the better part of an hour and a half. Turns out I'm just fine. It luckily eased up later in the morning. Hungry though. I always get hungry in like an hour and 15 minutes into these streams. Okay, delta broke, so okay, I'm gonna go for this retest. I'm gonna go for the short here. Delta broke very aggressively there, so this is an interesting one. I'm gonna go for the short here, to be honest. I'm gonna go for 5 points. Ah, shit, it's already there. Okay, fuck. What do I do here? You know what? I'm just gonna mark it in 5. Boom. Yeah, we got a very aggressive delta there. Where's my entry there? 49.25. Yeah, right in like the bottom of the node basically. That was my entry. And then 5 points either way. Happy with that. Come on, you're right there. Give me the break even. You motherfucker. You son of a bitch. 2 ticks away from the break even. Current session value very high, shifted up a little bit. That's okay though. How's your guys' day's been? Good? Not mine. Got 2 ticks from a break even. Son of a bitch. Nah, I'm just going for a little 1-to-1 here, Professor Mac. Just a little 1-to-1. I said that I would take this if we got the delta break, and we did. The delta broke really aggressively, so. It's just annoying how we got 2 ticks from the break even and then crawled back up a little bit. The black line here is my break even point, by the way. If this was my second trade and I was playing with like the profits on the day, I would probably hold a runner and see if it would get down to like previous days POC maybe, but not all the way down to current session POC. I'm still happy to hold though. My stop is still safely behind a reinforced level, so. Oh, I've got an itchy leg. Wait a minute, why is my, I should have been out of that. Hang about, why is my fucking... Oh, I'm going for 6, that's why. Wait, what? Why am I going for 6? I should have been going for... Ah, I'm such a dweeb. I feel like I was... Did I say I was going for a 5-5? Because that should have been TP, actually, if it was a 5-5. It's just on the tick. But I'm actually going for 6-6. I didn't even realise. I feel like I said 5-5 initially, but then I went in for 6. I've got 6 points risk either way. Oh, that's a shame if this plays out now. Or if this stops me out now. But oh well. Back at the entry. I'm still fairly confident. Like I say, we have this node here. Reinforced level. Yeah, I accidentally went for my 6 point risk rather than my 5 point risk. I don't know if I meant to do that or not. I feel like I didn't. I just clocked then that like the numbers on my chart here weren't the same as my numbers on my my TopStep X chart. I thought it was a difference between mini and micro then for a second, like there was a point and a half, but then I was like, wait a minute. I was like, 49 plus 5 is not 55. But we did get that real nice spike down. That was real fast. So we'll see, I guess, if this plays out or not. Real unfortunate if not, because that would have been literally to the tick. Don't know whether I would have got filled or not, but if I didn't get filled, it would have been a break even, because my break even point would have got absolutely smashed. So we'll see. Even with the 6 point, that was like, what, 2 ticks? Yeah, 2 ticks from... from me moving to break even. Still not a bad trade at all, really. Perfectly happy with it. Win or lose. Potentially, will it be the... I don't know if it'll be the last trade of the day. Maybe we'll snag another one in the last half an hour here. I still have room on my account for a win or a loss after this. Broke through most of that node now, so maybe I'm gonna eat the loss here, which is so unfortunate. There was definitely a world where that TP'd if I had my risk like what I initially thought it was, if not a break even. Yeah, we're currently sat in the old drawdown, about halfway into drawdown. Delta still does look pretty solid for my short, though. I must say that. Delta looks like it's way further away from that high break-in than price is, which is good for me. Is it broken? This is the issue with having my price on a different thing. Let me just do this instead. Oh shit, no, not that. Yeah, okay, I was right in what I was just saying. Oh. I wish you guys could see the delta on my other thing, but I don't know how I can show out on my stream and not clutter up the fucking chart. But it was a crazy like break through the low and the delta before price did, and that's, from what I understand, is exactly what you want to see for the short. And it was like it did break really aggressively, but like I said, fucking dumbass me accidentally went in with a risk for 6 points rather than 5, which is, this is absolutely a 5-point trade. I don't know what glitched in my brain, but yeah. Oh well. Live and learn. Yeah, should have definitely been a win, that one. If not break even. Like, look at that, literally to the tick would have got it. So if I didn't get filled, it would have been break even, but alas. Yeah, Delta is still showing weakness here, so maybe we'll get a complete go through the side of the range. I mean, it has been consolidating here. If it does break to the upside though and stop me out, I might go straight back in with the dialed back risk for the long. Try and get the break, retest that side. Let me just change my, let me make a long tool here, just ready with $50 risk, because that's what I'll be risking. Not 150. That would be bad. That would be over leveraged. Chop back down to profit zone? Yeah, potentially. That's what I was thinking. Since it has been kind of consolidating around here, it might pop back down. I am tempted. If it gets down to my entry, I might put a limit order, you know. Yeah, I'm going to do that actually. If it gets, I'm going to set a limit order for one. That's why it didn't do, yeah, because I marketed it in. That's why it didn't sell. Yeah, I'm going to put another one more micro at my, so if it comes back down to my entry, it'll put me at the risk that I should be at then. That's the best way I can think of fixing this trade. Not fixing it, but you know what I mean, being at the right risk level. And then I just will nudge my stop loss and take profit a bit narrower and adjust my break even. to be, what would it be? Like that, yeah. Yeah, there we go. So now you come down here. You come there. Like I said, I'm not risking any more like dollar amount. This is just the original, like what I would have been in the trade with. It's just a shame that I wasn't originally, because look at that, literally ticked it. Yeah, we can adjust this now, because I did mean on doing this with 5 points. That's why I fucked it up, because I market entered, and I physically can't mark it in with 6 contracts on Project X, which is one of my issues with it. I want to be able to choose exactly how many contracts I'm marketing with. Not have to do this increment shit where I have to like do 5 and then 1, and it's a pain in the ass. We'll see if it'll be funny if it just come and like tagged my extra contract just to stop me out straight away, but we'll see. It's just nice knowing that now if it goes back down to that bottom end of the range, it's got more chance of getting me because I'm closer for the take profit. Stop loss is also closer though as well, but like I said, stop loss is perfectly fine where it is with the 5 points. Real shame, to be honest, real shame. That basically is just down to the market thing though, like the market entry system on Project X. If that was like Tradeovate, I would have been able to select exactly 6 and mark it in with 6. So and then I would have won or break evened. Maybe I'll tell you what, there's a world where that didn't quite fill me. It got there to the tick, but didn't quite fill me when I had if I had the original right contract size, and then stopped me at break even. But in this reality, if this trade now plays out, instead of getting a break even, I'll get a dub. So you know what? Maybe, just maybe, everything played out exactly how it was supposed to. Got my eyes on the old break-even line again. We are back down. We have chopped back down into profit. Professor Mac did indeed. Not enough profit just yet, but profit is profit. See if we can snag a $300 day. I'm getting ready to go break even here. Not quite there yet. Ooh, just a couple ticks off was that. Ooh, right there. Okay, that was break even, I think. Yeah, that's definitely break even. Order filled. Come on, boys. Dub in the chat. Back-to-back dubs today. Double whammy winner. And the music stopped as well. Oops, restart the music. Are we going to get another trade today, do we reckon? I really would love if what I said before is true. That like if I had the right sizing before, that it like just quite didn't fill me. It got there but didn't quite fill me, and then stopped me at break even. Whereas because I fucked up the sizing a little bit, I actually got the dub in the end. Yeah. What a day, boys. What a day. Very, very happy with that delta read also, because I don't feel like I would have been that confident in that short without delta. Like even before this broke that low, I was like, I'm taking that short because delta broke this low before price, and that is one of the strongest signs delta can show you, is breaking a low on the delta before price does. Congrats, appreciate it, boys, appreciate it. What I might do, let's see here. let's watch it for another 5-10 minutes or so. If it starts heading back up to like where I just entered, I will enter again, like try and catch it again. And on that trade, I'll try and leave a runner. And that's what we'll do. So I'll leave this limit or this tool here because this is exactly the position I'll take. It's just that this time I won't take my full position off at 5. I'll take most of it, like 4 contracts off out of 6, and leave 2 to run for, like, I don't know. See if we can get see if we can get current session point of control or something, and I'll just trail. If we start heading back up, yeah, I'll do that. Because then worst case scenario, I give back the profit on the trade I just won. Oh wait, it do be popping back up. I'm not sure if I want to get back into it that fast. Fuck it, we'll do it. It's what I said I would do, so we'll do it. Throw another. Oh god, where am I? 49.25. We'll throw the order in there. If it fills, if it fills, it fills. If it fills, it fills. Oh, actually, nah, hang about. I don't like it now, because Delta is now telling me that this isn't aggressive to the downside. We have the opposite of what happened before. But before it showed us aggressive selling, this time it shows us weakness in sellers. So I'm going to pass on that actually. I'm trying to use the delta to refine my entries. And yeah, delta here says no for the entry. So we will pass on that. So we'll watch and see if it gets filled with the tool, and use that to see if it was the right decision to pass on it or not. Delta is pretty flat, but it is doing exactly what I just said. I've only got 15 minutes left of my session anyway, so. Or what I might even do is I might just finish up here, since I'm not going to take that retest because of delta, so I'm probably not going to take another trade in the next 15 minutes. And like I've said a million times, I don't like dragging these streams out all the way to the 11:30 mark just for the sake of it. If I think I'm done, then I'll just call it a day, and if I take another trade in the next 15 minutes, there'll be a community post on my YouTube channel about it, and if you're in the school group, I'll no doubt post it in there as well. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So appreciate you boys for watching. We actually had a fair few people in the stream today compared to normal. Yeah, appreciate all you boys coming and hanging around and chatting with me about the old volume profile order flow goodness. And we had a great stream today. 2 back-to-back winners, $300 banked on the XFAs. Very solid read on the delta, using the delta today. That's new. Like it a lot from what it's helped me do today. And yeah, I'll be back. I will be back again tomorrow, 9:45 a.m. So I will catch you boys then.